Good morning. We're going to talk in this video about how you're going to turn in your first program, which is 1.03 printing strings. Okay, you'll always find the assignment on the last page of the module assignment. So this assignment was 1.03. So when you get to page 8, you'll see the assessment. And there's two pieces to notice here. One is the assignment template, and one is the rubric. The rubric, before you actually turn anything in, make sure you click on the rubric and double check that you've completed all of the different parts that you're going to be graded on. This is the best way to make sure that you make 100% on the assignment. The assignment template is going to actually tell you what the assignment is. So you'll have part one, the program. It's going to show, and it'll give you some specific directions about what you need to do. The output, which is approximately what it'll look like, but keep in mind that as you're going through the directions, it's going to have you do something that's uniquely your own. So what you turn in will not look like what anybody else turns in. So it won't be word for word what this is, but it will have at least five print statements. Down below this, you'll see where we're gonna insert your program code, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And then, very important, what we call part two, the post-mortem review. Every program you turn in, you're going to be answering these four questions: what the purpose of the program is, how it would be useful in the real world, what problems you ran into and how you fixed them. So don't be surprised if you run into syntax problems where it gives you an error message when you first time try to run the program. Maybe you'll forget a quote mark or parentheses, or you'll forget to indent something. Not a big deal, but you just tell me how you fixed it. And then finally, what's one thing you would do differently? Now, when you read the instructions, it'll tell you to save and print, and that can save it as a separate document on your computer. Another good way to do this is to open it and select all, highlight the whole thing and select it, and then right click and click on copy. And then you'll go into Word and Control V or right click to paste. And that's another way you can get your whole document in. This looks like it cut out a little bit of it, so I'm going to go back and show you when I highlight this first part. Oops. Control C will copy, or you can right click and click on copy and then go into your Word document, and up at the top, press enter, give myself some space, and I'm going to hit Control V to paste it. Okay, now as you to do the assignment, notice it gave you some specific instructions, like you're going to use the Python idle. So let's go back to our assignment, and you'll see that up at the top is the idle. That's where you're going to actually write your program code. The idle is going to look something like this. It's going to open up, and it's got two parts for you. The top part where you're going to actually write the code. The bottom part where after you hit run, this is where it's going to print your code. Now, what's real important is what you write up here. I'm going to copy and paste this into the idle on my side, and I'm going to run it. So don't turn in a screenshot or a picture of your code, because then I can't copy and paste and run it. All right. Now, in this assignment, there's a couple pieces I'm going to point out to you. At the top of the program, you're always going to have comment tags that have your name, the date, and the purpose of the program. A comment tag will start with a little number sign, and you'll see this is right over the top of the number 3. So for each line that you want to comment out, and by commenting out, it means that I'll be able to see this in your code, but it won't actually be a part of your code that's run. So you're going to put this little number sign to indicate to the idle that it doesn't run that line. It's just comments or information. And then I'm going to define my main method. All right, def main, 2 parentheses and a colon. Real important in Python is that you indent each line. So you can either hit tab or hit the space bar 4 times. It's generally preferable to hit the space bar 4 times. Whichever you do, you need to make sure you're consistent. Otherwise, when I get ready to run it, it probably will give me an error. So you're going to define your main function. You'll hit the space bar 4 times, and then you'll have each of your different print statements. Okay, and in total, you should have a total of 5 print statements. And then you close your main function. So when you get ready to turn this in, you're going to highlight your code. Whoops, I think I forgot that first one. Highlight your code. Again, Control C to copy. Then you'll come back to your template, and where it says insert your program code here, just hit Control V to paste it. Now, you may notice how this print line doesn't look right. It didn't indent it with the rest. Don't worry about it. Don't fix it. Because the Word knows those spaces are there, and when I get ready to copy and paste this into the idle, it'll put those spaces back in for me. If you fix it in Word, then it's actually when I copy and paste it in the idle, it'll have too many spaces. And then you'll come down here and you'll type in your answers to the PMR questions. Save your work. So I would have a folder on your computer where you're saving all of your documents. For this class, maybe you call it Foundations of Programming, Foundations of Programming and Semester 1, whatever makes sense for you. Okay, and I'm going to give it a meaningful name. In this case, it's 103. Don't put a dot in the a file name. 103 and print statements, but you name it whatever makes sense for you. And then I'm going to save it. To turn in the assignment, you'll come back to the program and you'll notice under assessments, you have a list of all your assignments, and we're turning in 1.03, so I'm going to go to 1.03, and these will disappear as you do each assignment. And then you're going to come down here, and you're going to, if you have any comments or anything you want to add into the assignment, you'll add it there. Down here, you'll select your file that you're going to upload, so I'm going to click on Add Files. I'm going to go to where I saved the document, which in this case I saved it in my Foundations of Programming folder. And I called it 103 Print Statements. Click on Open. All right, and then what's real important, I won't see it to grade it if you don't click on Submit for Grading and then submit your assignment. Okay, if you have any questions about turning in this first assignment, please don't hesitate to give me a call. I'll be glad to help walk you through it. Have a good day.